Hello and welcome back to World News on the Hour here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Polish-Lithuanian cooperation is crucial and thriving. This was the main message from today's visit of Lithuanian Prime Minister Inga Ruginienė to Warsaw. Our reporter, Pavel Chaskowski, has more.
Kiev, then Warsaw. These were the two first capitals visited by the new Prime Minister of Lithuania, Inga Ruginienė. Today she met with Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk in Warsaw, as both Poland and Lithuania share the same threat.
Coordination between Poland and Lithuania is essential, especially regarding current and potential future provocations from Russia. This includes our coordination in NATO, bilaterally, and in wider formats. Our countries face the highest risk of direct Russian provocations.
I see Poland as our key strategic partner with whom we can tackle issues together. The geopolitical situation requires us to plan jointly from the very start, even when minor matters arise that later become significant. I suggested to the Prime Minister that we could implement a new idea, that our governments could meet, hold joint sessions to exchange updates, share views and coordinate current affairs.
Poland and Lithuania cooperate militarily. For example, Polish Air Force takes part in patrolling the skies over Lithuania, but both countries also cooperate economically. Investments such as the highway system of Via Baltica or the railway system of Rail Baltica are well underway, and the Prime Minister of Lithuania expressed her hope today that they will be continued. From Warsaw, Poland, for TVP World, I'm Pavel Trzaskowski.
The European Union is mulling over whether to restrict the travel of Russian diplomats over espionage concerns. According to leaked documents provided to TVP World, many of these officials in the EU are involved in activities that contribute to Russia's aggression in Ukraine. More on the proposal from our EU correspondent Angela Skujins in Brussels.
The European Union is seriously considering whether it needs to clamp down on the movements of Russian diplomats, their families and consular staff within the EU to stamp out espionage fears. According to a leaked document sent to TVP World on the condition of anonymity, the legal proposal sits at the core of the EU's latest sanctions package against Russia for that country's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. The document states that according to the EU's diplomatic arm, that's the European Union External Action Service, those under diplomatic cover from Russia are participating in actions which undermines Ukraine's role in Russian aggression, as well as how this war is unfolding, the cause of the war, and how the European Union is coming to Ukraine's support. Now, the pitch aims to change the rules of movements for these individuals. Currently, Russian diplomats, their families and those that work at the embassy are allowed to move within the Schengen zone freely without needing to notify any national government. If this proposal gets over the line, they will need to notify governments within the member states of their intent to travel there within 24 hours. Now, the Financial Times is reporting that according to its sources, all EU governments are on board, and the initiative is spearheaded by the Czech Republic. In 2014, a sabotage attack resulted in that country with 2 deaths. We also are hearing from our own sources here in the Belgian capital that there is a certain air of optimism that the 19th sanctions package could get over the line this week. However, major question marks hang over whether Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico will toe the line of this and vote in support of this initiative. However, we are already hearing from Moscow that the Kremlin aims to respond in kind to this proposal to curb the movement of Russian diplomats. Angela Skujins from Brussels for TVP World.
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Tuesday that Russia will respond to EU plans to restrict travel of Russian diplomats. According to Peskov, an appropriate response to potential EU restrictions will be imposed. Russia's revenues from the sale of oil and gas fell by a quarter in September, compared with the same month in 2024. This decline, which has continued since the beginning of the year, is weighing on Moscow's ability to finance the war in Ukraine.
Pumps like these in Russia's far north have long been crucial for the state budget. This year, however, the market conditions have worsened. In September, the state earned €6 billion from oil and gas sales, a sharp drop compared with September 2024, when sales reached about €8 billion. Experts say this is mostly down to the price of Russia's biggest earner.
The Urals crude price has softened and the discount to Brent has widened, which means less tax revenue for the state, because for Russia, Urals price basically, the price of Urals basically decides how much revenues will go to Russia federal budget.
But it's not only oil. Russia has relied heavily on pipeline gas exports to Europe, but losing its biggest customer has made exporting gas for a similar profit difficult.
Europe has almost completely phased out Russian pipeline gas. So basically right now we have only gas coming to Europe via Turk Stream and LNG. The rest is basically not operational. So although Moscow is selling more LNG to Asia, those earnings can't fully replace the loss of European market.
Russia is currently negotiating the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline to China, which could match the capacity of Europe's former Nord Stream. But even if the deal is signed next year, construction would reportedly take another 5 years and up to 4 more to reach half capacity.
Slovakia has agreed to resume military aid to Ukraine after a break of 2 years. During a defence industry forum in Kyiv on Monday, Slovakian Defence Minister Robert Kalinak said Bratislava would provide mine sweeping and medical equipment.
Defence cooperation was one of the key topics discussed during a meeting last month between Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Kalinak said Ukraine would receive 5 Bozhena-class mine-clearing vehicles and other engineering equipment, as well as medical supplies. The Slovakian government's decision to provide military aid to Ukraine represents a shift in the Fico government's policy, which had previously been critical of military support for Kyiv.
The 7th and most powerful to date nuclear reactor will be built in Slovakia with American technology. To that end, the government of Prime Minister Robert Fico has signed an agreement with the US company Westinghouse, which will provide the technology.
This is the nuclear power plant in Slovakia's Bohunice, where the country may soon start building its 7th reactor.
Our goal is to use the infrastructure of the Jaslovska Bohunice nuclear power plant to build another reactor fully owned by the state. Its output will be significantly higher than the existing 440 megawatt units. The reactor will exceed 1,000 megawatts.
Slovakia currently operates 5 nuclear reactors, 2 at Bohunice and 3 at Mochovce, and is building 1 more at the latter location. The country has one of the biggest shares of nuclear power in its electricity generation mix in the world, second only to France. But it wants to bet on nuclear even more.
We estimate that our electricity consumption could rise by 40 to 60% by 2040. To meet this demand, we will need new sources of energy. Moreover, the Slovakian Republic must compete as a country to attract data centers, and these too require huge amounts of power.
Choosing Westinghouse will help relieve some of the heat the country has been getting from Washington for sticking with Russian oil and gas purchases. In the region, Poland also tapped Westinghouse as the technology provider for its first nuclear power plant.
And that brings us to the end of this news bulletin, but we will be back on the hour, so see you then. Bye-bye for now.